Here's a wonderful performance from an incredible singer that hides proper breathing from those who are seeking it. Now, the problem here for students of the voice really isn't in the performance. And I'll highlight some things in this performance that can help us quite a bit. It's in how it's presented. It's in the production. We hear a voice that is so plastered from compression and from the way it's mixed right here that we don't hear the dynamics of her voice happening. Our perception of how dynamics and volume and the associated airflow, breathing, and support that goes with it is completely skewed. We're afraid to go big or get small or really anything in between because we hear a consistency out of our favorite singers that really isn't there. Listen to this performance about 10 years earlier and make note of how much more dynamics you hear in the same melody. It's also a live performance and it's not produced or highly mixed. She's loud and intense and vibrant and agile, but she's also very lullabyish and calming in certain sections. This performance sounds way more dynamic, but it's not. It's more raw, and it helps us listen to her voice in a way more efficient way for us learning about our breathing. Now, you really can't miss the vocal dynamics in this sample. Does Ado use her breathing better than Ariana Grande? No. They're both fantastic at it. However, listening to Ado, especially live, is much more helpful when dialing in how we are supposed to use our exhaled breath and how we're to support our voice. In light of what we just heard from Ado, let's go back to the first Ariana performance that I showed you, and let's break down what's happening from a dynamics perspective. Right there. This is not about you, boy. There is not a constant level of breath pressure. About you, boy. No, that sounds dumb. Listen to this. Hear how she leans into you? I'm lowering it and putting it in my own voice. But listen. About you, boy. About you, boy. About you, boy. Not about you, boy. Well, should I maintain the same breath pressure all the time? Should my abs be engaged all the time in the same way over a whole song? Man, my abs will get really tired of that. No, they shouldn't be. And what we're going to continue to observe in these listening samples and then practice with my simple exercise is that breathing, exhaling, getting rid of your air, engaging your air is done dynamically and responsively, not statically. Now, breathing, support, and placement all go completely hand in hand in hand. We're going to be focusing on the breathing component here, but you must make sure you have the global concept of support and an understanding of dynamic placement so that the breathing component really sticks. So, right after you watch this video, click the link below in my pinned comment or video description and join my free course. It serves as a perfect continuation of what I'm talking about here. About you, boy. There is more downward poop muscle level engagement over you than boy. The climax of that engagement is on you. And when you're listening and just enjoying the song, you don't notice that because everything is so packed in. She's not exaggerating the technique enough for you to notice beyond what's happening in the production. Back to Ado. I should say, Right there, especially, because she's not going in and out of her head voice on that third aishite. Aishite, aishite. Am I holding a constant static position with my downward focus support? Absolutely not. Yes, there is a consistent engagement, but it's more a mindfulness component and not a muscular component. Listen to how Michael Jackson, even at age 14, understands this concept.
You feel you're not wanted anywhere. If you ever look behind,
Ugh.
you feel you're not wanted anywhere. If you ever look.
You might say, well, isn't he just getting louder as he's getting higher? No, listen to the notes carefully.
You feel you're not wanted anywhere. If you.
Listen to the difference between anywhere and if. Anywhere, if. Anywhere, if. This is not higher notes, more support. This is not getting louder just so you can hit higher notes.
You feel you're not wanted anywhere. If you ever look behind,
You feel you're not wanted anywhere. If. Then.
if you ever look behind,
If you ever look behind. Then there's this full belted dynamic going. But the notes are fairly close, especially after he ramps up on that line. There's so much dynamics, and this has everything to do with how he is using his breath. You can tell a fantastic singer by how notes in similar ranges, and we hear this from all three of these singers, notes in similar ranges can take on so many different characteristics. Yes, placement is a part of it. Yes, register is a part of it, but it begins with how you're using your breath. Let me show you the exercise that's going to help train how proper breathing should feel so that you can start to approach this level of amazingness. First, we're not going to sing at all. We're simply going to breathe. Should I take in air through my nose? Should I take in air through my mouth? What about both my mouth and nose? How should I take in? Don't think about it. Just breathe. Just take air in. Then I want you to hold your breath, but not lock your breath. Not like you're holding it back, but like you're just full with your lungs. Then we're going to exhale, and we're going to provide resistance with our lips. And we're going to do it dynamically. We're going to go more intensely on our lips, and then we're going to be more relaxed on our lips. But we're going to fuel that exhale with our poop muscles, having a downward focused sensation. No, we're not going to be tensing here. We're not going to be engaging these muscles. We're going to be engaging as low as possible, like you're pushing something out your rear end. You end up holding back air, providing resistance or back pressure with your lips as you provide more air coming up as a result of the downward support. Again. What do you notice about the intensity down here? As the airflow gets more intense, the engagement gets more intense. Yes. Why should it be any different when you're singing? It's not. Let's replace the blowing with an S sound, a sibilant sound. The more back pressure we have, the louder and more intense things seem. And in certain parts of our body, things are more intense, but they're not tense. The other observation I want you to make is that even when we are expelling air in the calm sections of this exercise, there is still air coming out. There is still a consistency even in the midst of the inconsistency. Again, let's go to a different form of resistance. Let's go to an F. Now let's do the same thing with a note. I am intentionally providing more breath by focusing down, by pushing harder down dynamically, and then I'm also intentionally, ever so slightly, holding back a portion of that intensity that comes from below. If I wasn't, it would sound like this. There's a moderation that's happening in my vocal tract that's similar but more complex than the S or the F or the F. And it's important that we understand that because great sound is a product of both dynamic support and the reaction we have to that dynamic support, that dynamic airflow, in terms of the back pressure that our vocal tract is providing. Now let's do a phrase with this same mindset. About you, boy. No. That's how we want to arc this in terms of how the breath pressure should feel. About you, boy. 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 I am fully experiencing the arc of my airflow balancing over that line, and it is creating this dynamic interaction with how my voice sounds. There's all sorts of things happening, and that's what you hear crazy happening in Ado. There's other things going on too that you hear quite a bit in the older performance from Ariana Grande. And now that you know what to listen for, you'll hear in the highly produced newer live version of Daydreamin. I encourage you to go back and listen to that whole performance and see if you can find what I'm talking about in her voice. It'll give you a whole new appreciation for her approach. Try this exercise. Try it over simple lines from your favorite songs. And if you'd like more help exploring support and interaction with your voice, make sure you click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. And here's a video about developing great vocal tone once you have this airflow stuff down.